because as it's live, it just pop in, so not everyone catches it, but it will stay on. So I will share it in some channels. So we are going to um, get some views. So I guess it was really exhausting time for you. Just to let you know, everyone, I tried to get you like 4 times. Rescheduled this like 4 times because of the upcoming Genesis Mint, and after that, I guess it was like really busy. So I just want to ask you some of the first impressions, because it might be the first interview since the Genesis Mint. How do you feel after that? Was it success? Could it be better? Did you expect something different, something more, or maybe less? Is there something you would do maybe different? Just the impressions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I want to apologize about getting in touch. It was just a crazy
Fine.
busy couple of weeks. We're a small team and we just like develop and build around the clock, and the community is so demanding, and they want everything yesterday, and building on a blockchain is not the easiest thing in the world. So it takes time to build this stuff and to make it seem so easy to the end user, but there's just a lot of other things that go on behind the scenes. um, we're not just like writing a smart contract on Ethereum, right? We're doing the whole thing from scratch. Yeah, so it takes a bunch of work to build this stuff. Um, the Yeah, I would consider Genesis Mint a success. Just a few days after 16 of the 17 collections, they all sold out. Did about 8 million stars in volume. We have this mechanism called fair burn, where 50% of the fees are burned and the other 50% goes to stakers. But right now, it goes into the community pool until the stakers functionality is built in. And the reception was crazy. Like I think like on Twitter, I kept seeing the word smooth, and I've never seen the word smooth applied to like anything in Web3 or crypto ever. So that was personally satisfying to me, because I really care a lot about UX, and I try to make the UX as simple and easy as possible. So yeah, I would consider it a success, and we have this is just the very very first phase. I would consider this like just like like version 0 of what we're launching. Like there's just so much more planned.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it's off to a good start. There's a little bit of rocky stuff here and there, but I think we're off to a pretty good start.
So, from me, I want to add, it's smooth, and the thing that you just said, that you really care about the experience, about the side of design. I absolutely loved it. How it looks, it's clean, it's easy to understand, it doesn't have too many things. So I really enjoyed the mint. I did minted some, so I will ask you about some projects a little bit later. I was surprised, I must tell you, like a few days ago I tried to mint the Starty, and I set like gas at $300, and I couldn't, and I couldn't mean that. So, um, but
Well,
but
to be fair, Starty did have a little bug. Okay, so
okay.
it had a thing where it was the first project that the whitelist price was different from the public sale price, and
Mm-hmm,
there was a bug in the UI for some people where it was trying to do the transaction with the whitelist price and not the public mint price.
mm-hmm.
So for some people, the transaction failed, but still it sold out in like a minute or something like that. So
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
like it. It failed all of my transactions. I didn't get it. It's fine. I'm not really upset. But okay, as we have like Genesis after. So other thing that actually made me busy, the fact that you did reschedule those meetings. I did feel that you are really busy and working hard, and I think like you want to get into something where the team is working hard. So I wasn't getting really upset at all about this. But starting from the beginning, because maybe not everyone knows, you're Shane Vitarana, and uh, would you mind to share a little bit of your background? It could be even like educational background, what you did, your experience, and how did you get into blockchain?
Sure, yeah. I mean, so my background is pretty extensive. Goes back many years. So I don't know where to start, but I've been involved in Web one, Web two, mobile, and you know, I started as a builder way before crypto was even a thing. Um, so I guess I'll start from the Web two days. I was always involved with open source. I've been involved with open source for a very long time. I contributed a lot to this Web 2 framework called Ruby on Rails, which was used to build Twitter, Shopify, Airbnb, a bunch of other um, 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 web apps. And I got really disillusioned with how Web 2 was going. I really don't like the ad-based business model. I think you end up making products that don't respect the user. And I was even considering leaving tech for a long time because I didn't want to be involved with that stuff. I've turned down opportunities to work at like some of the biggest startups because I don't want to be involved with that kind of technology. Then you know, I think I heard about Bitcoin first in uh, a post in Stack Overflow, but I didn't really get into it then.
Which year was it? Sorry.
Oh, I forgot when this was. Probably 2010 or something like that.
Wow.
But I didn't get into it. Then I
Mhm.
think I bought my first Bitcoin, I think in 2011 or 2012 or something like that. Um,
It's first
um,
time I hear someone complaining about buying it in 2011, 2012.
well, it's for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I think I got it to use in Silk Road or something. um, but then let me see. I thought it was interesting. It reminded me of some of the, like the hacker culture that was into in kind of the early days of Web one. Then a friend of mine introduced me to Ethereum in 2016, but you know, 2017 with all like the hype going on and stuff like that. That's then I was like, okay, maybe I should look into this. It seems pretty interesting. Um, I got really bored of making apps. At that time, I was working on mobile apps. I built the app for TED Talks and a couple of other apps on my own. Um, I had this app called Drum Kit. Is a music app where you play drums on the phone, and it was one of the first music apps in the App Store, and it did really well. So I was just I felt like I reached the peak of developing mobile apps, and I was looking for the next thing. Um, and Ethereum really spoke to me because you can actually build on top of it and is permissionless. Anyone can kind of build on top of it, and but it wasn't performant enough for the kind of things I wanted to build because I have a background building kind of like consumer facing stuff, and it just wasn't performant enough. And that's how a friend of mine introduced me to Cosmos and Tendermint. I think she happened to like go to school with Ethan Buckman or something like that. So that's how I kind of got into it. And the scalability solution of Cosmos really resonated with me because it scales just like how the web scales, you know, horizontal scaling. And yeah, I just started digging in. Probably one of the earliest people to start building on the SDK. I joined a startup called True Story, which was building on Cosmos SDK when it was like still in like beta. And you know, this was 2018. And um, it was too early. You know, there's no DEX.
Yeah.
Osmosis didn't exist yet, and it was like impossible to launch a token unless you went through like some centralized exchange, like doing an IDO on Binance or something like that. And really did not want to do that either.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I think for the common consumer, even I got to Cosmos was early 2020. it was very difficult to see what the Cosmos is trying to, like, not as developer, right? Like, I'm just casual consumer person. It was very difficult to see what Cosmos is trying to do. But now 2 years later, it's clear. You see how it works, how the decentralized exchanges works, and by then there was nothing. There was Cosmos and its vision, although it's like very short period of time, right? So have you met the founders like Jake Won and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yep. I met Jake. I know I've hung out with Ethan. Yeah, because if you've been building this space since 2018 or whatever, it was so small then, right? You'd go to a hackathon as the same people. And for the
yeah.
longest time, you'd go to hackathons as the same people over and over. And it was only until very recently there was this huge influx of new people in the
Mm-hmm.
space.
Mm-hmm. You actually I think also another thing that, because everyone associate you with Stargaze, but I think before Stargaze happened, you built some module which is called Cosmwasm. Not only you, you built it with some other people, and also the interviews are not really about Cosmwasm. But when people do interviews about Cosmwasm, they should probably do interviews with you, because it does seem like one of the most important things in Cosmos right now, maybe together with SDK, because from what I see, most of the new blockchains that are launching on Cosmos using Cosmwasm. That would include Terra, Osmosis, Juno, Stargaze, right? So how did it happen, and who made it with you? And maybe like follow up questions, because the Cosmos, why you guys didn't build your own smart contract platform? Like,
Okay,
it's a
yeah,
lot of
that's a really good
questions, but
question.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good question. Yeah, so Cosmwasm came out of a hackathon in 2019. It was me, Ethan Frey, Aaron Cranius, Pedro, Greg from Region. He wasn't a developer, but he was like supporting us and
Mhm.
bringing us like yerba mate while we were developing and stuff. And
He
also
does look
Jihan.
sorry for he does look like the guy who would bring you yerba mate. Like, he does,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, with his hat and everything.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that hackathon was unreal because everything that built in those 3 days became real things. So like
Mhm.
in the group I was working on, like Cosmwasm was one of the things that we built. The other thing we built was like a groups module that kind of ended up um, um, parts of it getting into the SDK and uh, parts of it into Cosmwasm. But yeah, it was mostly Aaron and Ethan's idea, and we just laid the initial groundwork for it, and I think at the end of the hackathon you were able to like do a simple send transaction from Cosmwasm to
Mhm.
the SDK. And after the hackathon I continued to work a little bit with Ethan and build out some of the very early functionality in it. But then after that, started working on Stargaze, which was called Stakebird at that time. But wasn't mature enough to like start building on it fully. And I wanted to build like more application stuff. Like
Mhm.
infrastructure stuff is great, but I think I work best when I'm like working closely with the user and building what
Mhm.
users want. So then we went back to started building what became Stargaze with the SDK instead of Cosmwasm because it just wasn't ready at that time.
Mhm.
Um, but then while we were kind of trying to find product market fit, Cosmwasm continued development. Terra started using it, and started becoming a thing. And then when we kind of pivoted to NFTs, it just totally made sense to use Cosmwasm, and it was a state where it was mature. Juno started using it and everything, and it just totally made sense.
So, why not smart contracts? But like just because you were not interested, just because you wanted to work closer with the user, and just people were not having passion to build. Because Juno built, like, right? But
yeah. Well, no, it was more because it wasn't ready enough. It wasn't production
Mhm.
ready enough. In the time we were building, which was like, early like 2021,
Mhm.
late 2020.
Look, because I know nothing about languages, but Rust is gaining a lot of attention, and I imagine in 2018, like I don't imagine many people were speaking about this. So is there anything with Rust that you guys decided to use Rust? Is there
Oh
like,
yeah.
what was it, something like, hey, this will be, as the Jack Dorsey said, future? So I want to learn more about this, maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean Rust is just an amazing language. It's like the perfect language for smart contracts. It's if you look at Stack Overflow, it's been voted this for 6 years in a row. It's like the most loved language.
Hmm.
And there's a reason for that. It's when you're writing financial software, it's very important for it to be secure, and you want like very strict typing and stuff like that. And Rust just kind of gives you all those benefits. It makes it just eliminates a whole class of bugs, and that's kind of what you want when you're writing smart contracts. And the other thing is WASM, is WebAssembly. It compiles to WebAssembly, so that means that people can write smart contracts in any language that they want as long as it compiles to WebAssembly, and that is what runs on the blockchain. So we've gone with Rust, but there are people that are working on other languages that work with Cosmwasm as well.
Yeah, I wonder, like, because there seems more and more languages appearing. Do you see Rust maybe fading away, being replaced, or you think it rather will be like this strong force, and more developers will be coming, building on Rust?
Oh, it's not going away. Yeah. I think Cosmwasm is going to become the main developer platform on Cosmos.
Hmm.
The only probably other contender to it is Agoric, that is working on a JavaScript based smart contracting platform. And there's just many more JavaScript developers in the world than there are Rust. Um,
Yeah.
and they really haven't launched yet, so I don't know, I can't predict the future. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I think Cosmwasm has a lot of traction, with Terra, with Juno, and now with Stargaze all using it, and also Osmosis is also adding it. So
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
there's just more and more Cosmwasm devs.
Right. I think I spoke about Agoric with someone. I think it was probably Tobias Toshdev. He's from SG1. Don't remember what he said about the Java, so I don't want to bring. But there was some, like, that he was mentioning advantage of Rust over Java. Like, I think it's not really well designed for the blockchain, and it's like really difficult. Something like um.
Yeah, well. Agoric has their like own version of JavaScript that
Mhm.
is a lot safer for smart contract development.
All right, he was saying
Um,
it's not safe. So I
yeah,
think he
JavaScript
was,
on its
yeah,
own is not safe. You
yeah,
never want to build smart
yeah,
contracts
yeah.
in JavaScript. It's even worse than Solidity. So
Right.
yeah. So but the Agoric version of it is a secure version of it. So that's gonna be pretty cool.
Worse than Solidity. So you don't think that Ethereum will be the future? Like, that's actually like, I mean, you don't seem to be bullish on Solidity. Like,
Oh, that's just a personal thing. I don't like it as a
okay,
language.
okay,
if,
okay.
if I liked it as a language, I'd be building Stargaze as like a L2 or something on Ethereum.
Right, right. Look, so the NFTs are pretty new. I think the first time we really start talking about NFTs was early last year and some people earlier, but the wider community. So how did the Stargaze start? Did it mean to be like NFT platform, or was there something different? When did you start thinking about building something like that?
Yeah, so we actually pivoted to focusing on NFTs, and the way that happened was we were initially building something that was kind of like more like a decentralized Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's what we were building. And as we were building that, we realized that the native format of a tweet is like an NFT, right? And but the thing is, if you want to have value on chain, it has to be valuable content. Like
Mm-hmm.
most tweets aren't valuable content, so it doesn't make sense to have them on a blockchain. And
Right.
and we were just kind of like running into this kind of issue, a little bit of a product market fit issue, and then we realized that, oh yeah, while we were building it, we realized that there's no like good there's no NFTs on Cosmos yet. There's really no NFT story on Cosmos yet. So you can't build on top of something without having the foundation of it first.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we realized that, all right, we just got to go all in on NFTs because um, we really have to build that foundational infrastructure first. There was
Yeah.
just this massive kind of hole that
Yeah.
wasn't being built.
For now, when we talk about the NFTs, it's like profile images, right? There is some art. Hard to think of any other usage. So I wonder, like, what is the next for NFTs? Like, are we going to? It will be this PFP images, and we will be changing our profile images every few weeks because that's what will be the trendy, and it's gonna last forever. Or is there something more, like actually that it will be maybe more sustainable? You know?
Yeah. So whenever something new comes out, it starts off in this toy phase, right? So and I've seen this over and over again for like many years. NFTs are right now in their toy phase. It's kind of like, when Ethereum first launched, people were just like making random tokens and stuff like that, and then protocols like Compound and Uniswap and some of the more higher value stuff kind of came a bit later. Um, with NFTs, I think we're going to start seeing something similar. The important thing is to build a foundation for them, and then let it take off, right? So so right now, like even the utility for art is it's massive, right? So the art industry is something like a
Mm-hmm.
$50 billion industry, right? So even if the utility aspect is not there and there's still art, that's still valuable,
Yeah.
right? They don't always have to have some like long roadmap or whatever, right? It could be just PFPs, like like CryptoPunks are just PFPs, right?
Uh,
And I think the floor on them is still like something like four hundred
yeah.
thousand or something like that.
I think the Jake Hartnell tweeted it right that if something has too long of the uh, roadmap, it's probably a scam because I think
Yeah,
no one really knows, right? Like, I mean, if someone plans for 2024, how do you know what will be the trend in 2024? You don't know. So like, how can you plan? But I wonder, is there something that you are like, hey, this is perfect for NFTs. Like is there something that you feel the NFTs will have utility that they don't have now and the people don't see it? It doesn't have to happen, but I wonder if there is any speculation that you have in your head.
yeah. I mean, the way I see it is that anything that's non-fungible will eventually be represented as an NFT.
Mm-hmm.
It's still, maybe it's still too early to see it that way, but like the way I see it is like, like the deed to your house is a non-fungible token, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the future, if you want to get a loan, um, if it's represented as an NFT, then you can, like get a loan in 2 or 3 clicks, with a DeFi protocol, right?
So,
Stuff like
s-
that.
sorry to like just get into this, but that would worry me because let's say I want to buy a house, right? And you said like having this digitalized, it uh, I don't know if it solves anything because the way I see it, I want to have it in the contract. in the government papers signed with the lawyer, so I know the law protects me. Protects me. Can the NFT provide something equally safe? Because it isn't just like, what if I lose the key? Right? I mean,
Yeah.
did I think wrong about this?
No, I mean, this is projecting kind of way out into the future, right? Where you have like, maybe it'll be like digitally signed or something by uh like the entity that is like selling it to you and stuff like that. It's just that you have this like on-chain record.
So
Um
it could be still in the government papers, but it could be executed on chain, and they have the keys to it, right? And it's all stored, secured over there. Well, that's good. So like Soy said, like maybe one day the kids will be buying houses on the
Maybe.
Stargaze, right?
Yeah, and and until that happens, we'll be just trading PFPs.
Uh, well, I love them. I didn't think I will ever use the NFT as my profile picture, but I did find one on the Stargaze recently that I love using, and I will ask you about that. But you know, on Ethereum, the NFTs on Ethereum, they seemed to bring these amazing communities. Like it could be the punks, the apes are so strong, right? Like, I mean, everyone who built the NFT that is not from blockchain, they come over to Ethereum, and I feel the brands. This, like, I don't know what is this driving force, and I don't know if I can um explain it well enough, but I felt like, hey, the apes coming there, it's the brand. Although people, when the apes were coming, people didn't see it, but then later these projects like Azuki and others, they seem to all go into Ethereum. So I guess what my question is, how how does Stargaze will bring these communities, like how they will come over to the Stargaze and not somewhere else? How the culture will come to Stargaze? Because for now, I understand it. It's like you said, 17 projects or something around that. But when we will get the 17 daily, and among them, I don't know, hype beast added us, and they will be like, that's it. Why they will choose Stargaze, and why you think it will happen? Because that's my biggest concern here. That what
Yeah,
if Stargaze will not attract them?
so you touched
Right?
on a really important thing, which is uh, NFTs are kind of like crypto native groups. So everyone who's part of a collection feels like they're kind of like part of like a tribe or something like that, right? And we want to kind of build the tools to kind of nurture that. So like one thing we're having, there's a team called Starty Bot that's helping us out with this. We're building these kind of like token gated channels on Discord where everyone who owns that an NFT in that collection kind of like gets their own kind of like chat room or whatever, right? And this is just kind of the start of this kind of stuff. There's so many overlaps between this is getting a little philosophical here, but like there's
Go on,
overlaps
it's fine.
between like blockchains, DAOs, and NFTs. They're
Mhm.
all kind of these like mechanisms of coordination and ownership. Um, and I think yeah, and NFTs is still kind of like the very very early phases of this kind of stuff. Um, and we're starting with Cosmos first, right? We want to nail the Cosmos experience, right? So we want to bring all the stuff that people are using in Ethereum, like token gated access and stuff like that, and bring that into Cosmos first, right? We can easily we can go and try to like bring in some like Ethereum blue chip projects or something to Cosmos, but first we want to like really build all the foundational stuff first, right?
Mhm.
Um, then what we're going to do is so we're working on integration with Gravity Bridge and Ethereum, and eventually people will be able to list Ethereum assets on Stargaze as well. And what we're probably going to do is we're probably going to do airdrops to certain communities. Maybe we haven't decided exactly yet, but we can try to bring in some of those communities into Stargaze, into Cosmos. But ideally, I want to see Cosmos native groups, right? So some of the like the Genesis creators, they were some of the first kind of people to make NFTs on Cosmos, and that's going to keep happening, right? When we put out a call to creators, we got over like 700 applications. I think it's like over 1,000 now. So there's definitely no shortage of people that want to build on top.
Yeah, like I think the having the native Cosmos assets is really important, and it like it is really important to have like Justin Bieber buying NFTs on Cosmos, right? Like was I was thinking, because I love using Kepler, right? But they all use like MetaMask, so I think like I always often think, what's the road for them to start using Kepler, and actually them or their assistants, right? Like, but I think that would be like ultimate. Yeah, we got mainstream, and that would probably help Cosmos greatly, because that the awareness of different wallet and the different ecosystem. But as yeah, like as we are in the Cosmos, right, and especially with Juno, so there is competition in Cosmos. I will tell you straight up. So far, Stargaze, it seems to me, but I don't want to sound biased. Clean. It's clean. It's nice. I hope it will not become messy, because there is Omniflix Marketplace. I think Omniflix is great, but it's rubbish. The marketplace is rubbish. I don't want to offend anyone, because I open and it's all chaos. I don't seem to be sorted. There's another one, Passage 3D. So I guess you want to win the competition, right? Like, I don't know, like, so how you position yourself against them, against Omniflix, against Passage 3D. Sorry for shilling other projects, but
It's too early. It's too early right now, and winning is not something that we're focused on. Right now it's uh, interoperability. Cosmos is all about IBC interoperability, and we're helping driving that standard, and we want everyone to use it. We want Juno to use it, we want Passage to use it, we want Omniflix to use it, and we'll all start trading NFTs with each other and stuff like that, right? And then everyone, each project can focus on their own protocols, their own websites, their own UX and UI, and the space is big enough for everyone. And I think I think each marketplace is going to start specializing into a certain niche. And yeah, like we've already seen this. I think Passage is a little more like game focused, and
yes.
I think that's what's going to end up happening.
You did the airdrop, right? Do you have a few minutes more? I know you had said only half an hour, but
Oh yeah, I can keep talking. Yeah,
okay,
that's fine.
So you did the airdrop, and it was different design than some other projects, and I see now that thanks to the design of these projects, you avoided certain issues. You decided to do the fair drop, so even someone who had very little atoms would receive much larger number of stars. But some people could argue maybe it's unfair. So why this design of the airdrop, and why not seeking investors to do the private sale?
So the design of the airdrop, it was mostly inspired by Uniswap, which did like the very first like large airdrop on Ethereum. So going with a fixed price isn't something unusual. It was very normal. It was very it was how Uniswap was done.
Hmm.
So I think maybe it may have been different from what other Cosmos projects have done,
Yeah.
but yeah, we just wanted to try and keep it as flat and fair as possible.
Hmm.
That was the goal. I just wanted to we planned it out for many months, and wanted to reward early Cosmos people, and just wanted to try and keep it as fair as possible. And I think the interesting thing about the airdrop is the claiming aspect of it. So Osmosis, I think, was the first project that did this, where you had to vote and stake and do a bunch of other stuff to be able to claim the airdrop. And we also followed kind of a similar path. So the one we just launched a few days ago,
Hmm.
you get 20% of your airdrop for every phase. So this kind of keeps the community engaged. They keep coming and checking back, and they learn how to use the protocol. That's the most important thing. Like, the point of an airdrop is to get people to learn how to use the protocol. It's not just to give free money, uh, because that then they're just gonna either just like dump it, or it'll create like short-term hype, but it may not last long. So like Stargaze is kind of here to stay. We're going to keep building, and
Hmm.
we wanted to design the airdrop so it's like aligned with the protocol and aligned with the users, and they're invested in the project. They learn how to use it.
I think you must be right, because I did not dump my airdrop. In fact, I spent more on the minting than the airdrop I received. Than the very high rewards that I guess community voted for on Osmosis. Like, it just make me like get more, and I did really learn to use Stargaze platform, which I like. And I actually claimed, because I didn't have time in the last few days. It was 2021st, right? So I just claimed before our interview the next phase. There was some people talking, right? And I know it's not about price speculation, but the price in the recent weeks is um don't do well. The token is going down, which I guess it may be the reason, because the projects sell out on Stargaze. Maybe they want to cash out the money. I don't know, but um, what's the token value, right? Because we know the NFT value we can trade, but what's the role of the token? Is it just the governance token, or there is something more? Because I guess when it comes to the price, you could easily just use Atom, right? And so what's the token, and how it could, maybe what's the, as people like to speculate, where's the value being captured?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, Stargaze isn't fully launched yet, right? So the marketplace is kind of like the main part of the protocol, and that's still in development. And we were actually just going to launch the marketplace first, but people were asking for minting tools, and because Cosmos doesn't have any minting tools, we built a launch pad, right? So we're kind of like building along with the community, and we're kind of building what the community wants. And this is how usually the best products are built, where you
Hmm.
like, let's get user feedback and kind of build what they want. So it's hard to get the current token value. I don't think reflects uh, the project as a whole, because it's not entirely fully built out yet.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think the recent price action, is probably because, yeah, some of the early creators are, probably selling off, and also the rewards in Osmosis are just insane, right? So there's that aspect of it too. The important thing we care about is liquidity, right?
Hmm.
That's in the early stage of the project. It's about getting the token out there. So, like, as a team, we don't even care right now about the token price. We just know people are moving it around, is
Hmm.
liquid, and it's also being staked and is being LP'd.
Hmm.
Um, and liquidity on Osmosis, I think it's like the number top like 5 or 6 token
Yeah,
on
I think it's in
Osmosis.
top five, maybe not
Yeah.
changed because of the price action, but and I was surprised because despite the very deep liquidity, I enjoyed the rewards a lot, and despite the price action, I just get more stars now, right? Because it's balancing out. So like yeah, like I'm quite happy because I will have more stars to mint. As you mentioned, liquidity. Do you plan to, because the 23 epochs remaining? Is there any plan to add more to it, or that's enough for now?
Yeah, so when the marketplace launches, is going to have its own kind of incentives and its own features,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're thinking of a version of staking for NFTs, and that's going to be one of the main features of the marketplace. So we're hoping that native Stargaze features would be able to compensate for having to have incentives on Osmosis and other places, but we will probably keep the incentives going. It probably won't be as crazy high as it is
Mm-hmm.
now, but
Yeah.
I think we will have incentives going, like another round of them.
So on Stargaze, it would be the NFTs staking, or more like locking up your tokens there to do some liquidity, or
It's going to be an NFT version of staking.
okay, and then you will be incentivized by the tokens.
You'll be incentivized by inflation.
And
So
how does it benefit the marketplace? I'm sorry, like I'm trying to learn. Yeah.
yeah. Okay. So how does the marketplace benefit? Well. First of all, uh, the stars token, right? It has multiple uses.
Mm-hmm.
So NFTs are priced in stars. It also collects fees. So, for example, for launching a collection, for minting, and for trading, and so Stargaze has a story to support itself after inflation ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because of fair burn, right, 50% of the fees are burned, and then 50% of it go to stakers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So 7 8 years from now, whatever, when inflation kind of trickles down, the validators and everyone else can still support and sustain the network.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Stars has use cases for that. It's used for governance, like all other Cosmos chains, and then staking on the network, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it has all these use cases. Um, and NFT staking is just like a reward for locking up your NFTs for a certain period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And there can be like interesting things we can build into that too, because the people that are staking their NFTs it's like an extra level of ownership. It's like an extra level of
Mm-hmm.
commitment, right? So there could be this like something special for them, right? And and you could do stuff like add external rewards to it, like how Osmosis pools have external rewards.
Mm-hmm.
People can add other stuff to it, right? So let's say there's like another collection that wants to, let's say like bad kids come up with like a shoe collection or something. Those could be like airdropped to the people that are staking their bad kid or whatever,
They
right?
just
So
tweeted the shoe.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
like
I'm just using that as an example, right? I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just
yeah,
saying it's possible that could
yeah.
happen.
So regarding incentives, do you plan to build up liquidity on any other indexes, maybe, or you would rather stick with Osmosis? I guess what I'm asking, that it would be probably up to community, but the initiative would have to come from someone. Would Stargaze plan the external incentives on JunoSwap, for example, or?
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah. So yeah, exactly. This stuff is not up to the team; is up to the
Hmm.
community. Anyone can go write a signaling, a proposal on Commonwealth, and then have a proposal on chain. But we already have a pool on JunoSwap. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I personally don't have problems with getting it incentivized.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we want to be listed on as many dexes as possible.
Hmm.
I don't care about I don't care about centralized exchanges, but DEX is a totally fair game.
Did you get offers? Like, I mean, I wonder if someone contacted you from centralized exchange if they can get the hands of the
Oh,
like.
all the time, all the time.
And I
Yeah.
guess there is no option for OTC. Like they can just buy it from the market, right? Or is there
Yeah,
option?
my answer to them is they can go buy it in the market just like everyone else.
And I guess they are not happy, right?
I guess so.
um, what else there is? So marketplace, April or later?
Targeting late April. Yeah, that's our target.
Do
I don't want to commit to a specific date because
Mhm.
we've run into issues where we commit to a specific date and then it's maybe we delayed by 2 days or something, and then people like throw a fit about
Freak
it.
out?
So
Yeah,
I don't want to
yeah.
keep doing that. Yeah.
Um, do you have any vision from the how the marketplace will look like? Will it be like all at once, or will it have really nice order there that I can go perfectly search for the project? I think what OpenSea did is not that bad as the example. So wonder if you have in the head the idea how the marketplace will look.
Yeah, I mean, the goal for it is to be as fast and performant and simple as a launchpad.
Mm-hmm.
So that's our goal for it. And yeah, don't want it to be cluttered. Want it to be really simple. I mean, we're still building like the UX for it,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, we want to go back to kind of square one from first principles and try to make it as simple as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Like you shouldn't need to have a tutorial or like some kind of guide to use something, right? If you
Yeah.
need some kind of guide to use something, then you've already failed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had like if the UX isn't understandable when you initially start to
Mm-hmm.
use it, then you're not doing something right.
Yeah, totally. Favorite projects?
Favorite projects? I'm a bit weird, as in like I don't really
Mm-hmm.
I only I don't keep up with many of the other projects. I'm just really focused on building Stargaze.
So
So
that
I know that's a bad answer, but
horrible answer. I mean, because up until like last week or so, you were changing your profile picture very often, and you just changed. But there was for a whole week there was one project. And I was like, oh, maybe he's bullish on this project because at I'm talking about Bad Kids because at first I was like, no, it's a joke. And as I start minting, I thought they're perfect. They because everyone can relate to them. I was speaking to my friends. We all minted, and we were like choosing each other. Oh, that's you, that's you, that's you. So, but do you like it? That's why you kept, or just you didn't have time to change your thumbnail?
yeah, it's more like I just didn't have time to change it. But I mean,
Okay.
I like all the projects, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can't pick a favorite.
What?
I think the punks are great too. I think troopers. I think I love all the projects, and my personal interest though is in generative art. So
Mm-hmm.
I love the generative art projects, and what do I have to say about that? The Bad Kids story is a little funny because they picked Stargaze to launch on, and then later on I realized that like I'm friends with one of the people who's building it. So
Okay.
that was a little strange. One of my friends in New York, he's working on it. So and he had no idea that I was
Okay.
working on Stargaze.
But I guess that's bullish. I guess
It was accidentally bullish.
I will clip it and post into like the bat kit so everyone will know that the founder's friend with the Shane we're gonna make it or stuff like this. What's in your profile now? Is it candles or
It's
hyper
a glitch candy.
glitch candy? Yeah, I didn't get
Yeah.
this one. I was talking to the Frey. I guess you know him. from
I
the
know
name
him. Yeah.
service he built on Juno. So he also did like them. I didn't think that I will like generative art, but I did start minting like Endala was fascinating, and I didn't know why. I just opened and I was like, hey, I guess the art has the place on the internet, right? Because and then the Hyperion,
Yeah.
I didn't get this candy like it. I don't know, just the feeling. But someone did.
It's
Mhm,
yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to
it's
interrupt
fine.
you. It's because the final form of that is supposed to be video, audio and video. It's just that we don't have the video player working yet on the front end. So that's
Hmm.
why he decided to do a collection of just the images, and I believe he's doing another collection in the future that's going to airdrop the video version of it to like
Hmm.
everyone who got the first one.
So I guess this respond this question that someone did ask: does Stargaze have any plans to mess around with the music NFTs? That's the answer. Yes, right?
Yeah, totally, totally, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah,
Um.
yeah, that stuff is definitely coming. I'm very excited about like composability. For
Hmm.
example, like let's say you release an artist just released like the stems for
Hmm.
like a song, and then the collectors who buy them would buy like certain stems and compose them together and
Hmm.
like make different songs based on like the raw stems that are like the NFTs.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's just all these kind of like cool stuff. You can like remix them and like combine two together to make a new one that like composes the sounds together from two others,
Hmm.
and then it burns the two others. So there's all kinds of like interesting stuff you can do with that.
And is the kinetic still coming? Because I know you mentioned it kinetic. I did my research, right? Like
Oh, that's still coming. Yeah.
okay. So airdrops for stakers. I guess this is up to the creators of the project. It's not really up to you, right? So that's the
Yeah.
and I
Many of the creators have talked about doing that.
yeah. And by the way, do you know there is the artist of the Stargaze Punks? Like the girl. She's from LA. I don't know her name. Have you seen her art? Do you know her?
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Sin. Yeah, yeah. Her art's pretty amazing. Her
I
her
love
her
it.
pixelated
Yeah,
art
like
is like
I just
awesome.
wanted to say I saw some of her art and I know she plans her collection and I think it's amazing. It's like oh I want her. So I hope it will not be too crowded to buy, but I really like her art. I even messaged her if she would do interview. Just want to learn about her.
Yeah,
And
her twist on the punks is
mhm,
really great. Stargaze Punks doesn't look like any of the other punk projects.
yeah,
It really stands out.
and it's like something in the color like she used a certain color palette and you can see it in the Stargaze, and when you see her Instagram like it gets there, so you can see it's hers actually. I promised to Soy he's obsessed with star shows. Do you know when they are coming?
Yeah, they're coming. I don't know an exact date yet, but within the next couple of weeks, they're going to be dropping for sure. Yeah.
Right. um so is there any question that you wish to be asked but no one really asked you,
I haven't really thought about that. Yeah, I'm
or
open
something you want
to
to say to people about the project but no one seems to care in this?
something I want to say to the project. No one seems to care. Yeah, NFTs are like a divisive thing. I think there are a lot of people that kind of like to hate on them or whatever.
Mhm,
Yeah, yeah. All I can say is that this is you get to own your content, and this is what kind of makes NFTs different. So, um, I think more people should embrace that than uh, start than to hate on it, because when you post on Twitter, when you post anywhere else, you don't really own that content,
mhm,
and now you finally get to own it. So I think that concept of it hasn't permeated to a lot of groups yet.
mhm. Good answer. Favorite book?
Favorite book. I don't know. I like all the Nassim Taleb books,
Hmm.
Black Swan and Anti-Fragile. Um, some of those, yeah, some of those books.
Thank you, thank you for staying longer that because you said you will have only 30 minutes, and I think I ask what I wanted to ask. So everyone to mint, there is not new projects. There is one project that you can mint at the moment on Stargaze. The experience is great. So I guess everyone just mint the NFTs whenever they come, and I hope everything will go smooth on your side as well. And you will not have the issue with running the Stargaze. So thank you for the talk.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for having me here, Marcin.
No worries.
Thank you.
Bye
Take
bye.
care.
Bye bye.